त्रिनयनां माणिक्यमौली स्फुरत् तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीमां मीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यामलिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं घटस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम् सततज्वर विषमज्वर ग्रह नक्षत्र दोषाञ्चान्या हर हर काली सर सर गौरी क्रमधम विद्ये आले माले काले बन्धे भज भज विद्ये मख मख विद्ये नाशय नाशय पापम् हर हर दुःस्वप्नं विध्वंसय विध्वंसय
Dear friends, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you present on this afternoon session of the 26th day of the Global Festival of Yoga, being organized by the Indica Yoga to celebrate wellness. Indica Yoga, as you have become familiar, is a platform that offers authentic, immersive, and transformative practices from the yoga traditions. So what we have today is a very special occasion. We have a group of different dancers. Most of them are from the Sunaad team that we saw yesterday. The dance that they are going to perform in front of us is going to be more of an Nrityayoga and showing its connection with wellness. So in the team, we have Parul Sastri ji. I request her to kindly come on screen. We have Nandini Kamath ji, whom I also invite to come on screen. Nishant Panicker, Sharada Pai, and Elizabeth Matthews. So the special part about today's session is that each of these dancers is going to show us three different styles of dancing, of classical dance. So we have three styles that are represented here, and which are Bharatanatyam, Kathak, and Odissi. So for Bharatanatyam, we will have Parul Sastri ji, Nandini Kamath ji, and Sharada Pai. For Odissi, we will have with us Elizabeth Matthews, and for Kathak, we will have Nishant, who will perform it in our midst. So I would like to just introduce the three dancers to us. Parul Sastri ji is a Bharatanatyam dancer and teacher. She's also a member of Sunaad. At a very young age, she began to study Bharatanatyam under Guru Parvati Kumar of the Tanjavur Nrityashala in Mumbai. After many years of rigorous training, she performed her guru's research work all over India. Her research work comprises of the Marathi items written by Serfoji Maharaj II of Tanjavur, who lived in 1777 till 1832. The third Nirupana of 18 items was choreographed by Guru Parvati Kumar and was presented by Parulji in 3.5-hour program. The collection of items includes rare pieces like Gita, Prabandha, and Triputa. Parulji has to her credit the Amrita Award and has received a scholarship from the Bhulabhai Memorial Trust in Mumbai for her research work. She's been a teacher of Bharatanatyam in Bangalore for the last 35 years, and she's also a student of Hindustani classical music. She has a degree in Sangeet Visharada, and at present she's learning Dhrupad Gaiki from Padmashri Gundecha brothers as part of the Sunaad group and the Dhrupad Sankula in Bangalore. She's been with this group since 2003. So Parulji, a very warm welcome to you, and we're looking forward to your performance. So we have the good fortune of having with us a Guru Shishya duo. So we have next Nandini Kamath, who is a Shishya of Parulji. She's also a Bharatanatyam dancer and a Hindustani singer, as well as a member of Sunaad. Besides that, Nandini ji is a homemaker, I would say a home minister, and she's a hobbyist in both the disciplines of Bharatanatyam and Hindustani classical music. Having trained briefly in both as a child, she took them up later in life and has been involved with the arts ever since. She trains in the Khayal style of Hindustani classical music from Guru Srimati Geeta Hegde and in Bharatanatyam from Guru Srimati Parul Shastri herself. She has been performing with Sunaad, and that we have already heard of yesterday, since its inception in 2002. Here she was introduced to the Dhrupad style of music, and in its thematic productions, she is part of this Sunaad's performances that combines ancient Indian philosophy, Dhrupad, theatre, and dance. And she's one of the key dancers in that group. She has also taught music to young children in 2 schools in Bangalore. So Nandini ji, namaste and a very warm welcome to you. Looking forward to your performance. We have also with us Nishant Panicker, a multi-talented youngster, one of the budding stars, I would say, in the art world of our country today. He was initiated into Kathak at the age of 9. After initial training under Sri Murari Sharan Gupta from the Lucknow Gharana, he received early inspiration from the dance duo Hari and Chetana. With his initial training and grooming by these gurus until the age of 15, he gained grounding in the foundations of Kathak. Due to his academics, Nishant's dance took a backseat, and he later picked up and started to learn from his current guru, Srimati Vibha Ramaswamy. Under her caring and astute guidance over the past 6 years, Nishant has blossomed into a delightful performer with confidence and skill in Laikari, Tukras and Bhava in line with the Lucknow tradition. With several duos and group dance performances under his belt, he has taken part in several workshops conducted by Padma Vibhushan Pandit Birju Maharaj ji himself, as well as senior disciples Srimati Mamta Maharaj and Srimati Durga Arya. He has also taken guidance from Srimati Parvati Datta, Shri Anuj Mishra and Srimati Sohini Devnath, among other stalwarts. Nishant is a regular performer of the group of group Art of Living Academy for Performing Arts, ALAP, Kathak Ensemble. He is a third-year student otherwise at Azim Premji University. Nishant is also a superb khayal singer with talim from Vidushi Lalit J. Rao. He has performed over 30 shows with Sunaad and has always been a star performer in every show. Nishant adorns several hats. He's a brilliant cook. He does everything that he lays his hands on. He achieves to a certain degree of perfection. So Nishant, a great pleasure to have you in our midst. Thank you very much for, even in your young days, making time for this show of ours. So thank you very much for being here. Next, I'd like to introduce another very young and talented dancer, a classmate of Nishant's. Elizabeth Matthew is an Odissi dancer. She has learnt Odissi since she was 6 years old. Under the nurturing tutelage of Guru Srimati Madhulita Mohapatra, she has grown into a graceful and confident dancer in the Nrityayoga Academy of Performing Arts. Elizabeth has completed Sangeet Visharad with distinction at the Prachin Kala Kendra. She has performed in many dance festivals in Bangalore and Orissa as both a soloist and part of Nrityayoga Dance Ensemble. In 2015, she won the Top 10 Talent Award among the Odissi Pratibha title winners at the Odissi International. In 2017, she was awarded first place in Nrityapanam. Currently, along with Odissi, she is pursuing her BSc in biology at Azim Premji University. I think Azim Premji is very fortunate to have such talented youngsters as their students. The youngest of our team and a very beautiful and talented dancer is Sharada Pai. She's also a Bharatanatyam performer and a member of Sunaad. I think the youngest member of Sunaad currently. So Sharada has been learning Bharatanatyam since 2013 from Guru Srimati Shama Krishna. As a child, she was always passionate about dance in any form. She joined Shraddha Dance Academy, and since then, there is no looking back. She has passed a junior exam held by the Karnataka board in dance. In 2014, she started learning Carnatic music from Miss Shrivali. This greatly helped her understand the dance form better, and to her pleasant surprise, she found out that she loved music too, and she continues to appreciate all kinds of music. She passed her junior music exam in 2017 and is presently preparing for her senior music exams as well. She has performed for her dance school and at various annual anniversary programs. She has also performed her Nritya Deepika, where she performed a solo. She is one of the star dancers also of Sunaad's different programs. She's a student of yoga in her school Vidyashilp Academy and has in fact taken it up as a special activity. She has taken part in several yoga events under that banner. So she's joined Sunaad in 2017 and she's one of the main dancers of the latest production that they did on Mandukya Santavani. So as you can see, we have a wonderful team with us. Invite all of them. Namaste and a very hearty welcome. We are looking forward to seeing how you are going to make this connection between Nrityayoga and wellness in the different classical dance forms that you will present before us. So with these words, thank you very much. The stage is over to you, but I'd just like to inform our audience that if you have any questions, please make sure that you're putting them in the Q&A box. So thank you very much and looking forward to your performance. Just a last note for the audience, be ready to join along at the end. So don't leave till the show is completely done. So thank you very much.
Namaste, good morning. Welcome to our presentation on Nritya, Yoga and Wellness. This morning, the five of us will be taking you on a journey through our experiences of learning different Indian classical dance forms. And we will also try to explain how these experiences have contributed to our wellness. And here, when I say wellness, I'm referring both to physical and emotional wellness, as well as to a deeper, more profound wellness that permeates through our every single life experience. And another thing to note here is that the title of our presentation is not simply Nritya and wellness, it's Nrityayoga and wellness. And the reason that we've kept this as a theme is because we wanted to tie in how Nritya and yoga are not exactly two separate things. In fact, many gurus before have said that dance and all Indian classical dance forms are simply yoga in motion. And in today's presentation, we are going to try to explain how these two things, yoga and dance, are more linked than they seem, and also how both of them can equally contribute to wellness. We'll begin by invoking the blessings of Mother Earth, the very ground that we dance upon, by now demonstrating what is called the Bhumi Namaskar or Bhumi Pranam. And after this, Srimati Nandini Kamath will explain the significance of this gesture by demonstrating a shloka in the dance form Bharatanatyam.
Nandini, can you unmute your screen, please? Gurubhyo Namaha.
Namaskara. The shloka that I just performed was paying obeisance to Mother Earth. The meaning of the shloka is as follows. O Devi, you who have the oceans as your garments and the mountains as your bosom, O consort of Lord Vishnu, I pay my salutations to you. Please forgive the touch of my feet on your body. Nishant?
Next, Elizabeth will demonstrate another shloka that is very important to classical dancers. It describes that one who encompasses all of music and dance. And the dance form that she will demonstrate this in is Odissi.
Angikam Bhuvanam Yasya Vachekam Sarvavangmayam Aharyam Chandra Taradik Tam Namaha Satvekam Shivam Tam Namaha Satvekam Shivam.
This is a dhyana shloka, where dhyana means focus or meditation. Dhyana circles describe a deity. In this case, it's Lord Shiva or Nataraja, the king of dance. He is also known as Adi Yoga, the founder of yoga. This shloka is recited to invoke the image of Lord Shiva in the mind of the dancer. The shloka translates to whose body is the universe, whose speech is the essence of all sounds and languages, whose ornaments are the moon and the stars. To you I bow, O serene Lord Shiva.
To now develop a deeper understanding of how dance and wellness are interconnected, we will each be individually taking up one important aspect of our respective dance forms and showing you how exactly wellness can arise from the regular practice or riyaz of that particular aspect. First, Srimati Parul Sastri will demonstrate some abhinaya for you and give you insights into what she has learned through the practice of abhinaya over the last 55 years.
Gurubhyo Namaha. Hello viewers. Today I would like to speak about Abhinaya. How important it is in any dance form. Abhinaya is categorized into 4 types: Angika, Vachika, Aharya, and Satvika. These are the Chaturvidh Abhinaya mentioned by Bharatamuni in the text Natya Shastra. Natya Shastra is a text, dance text written in Sanskrit by Bharatamuni. What does Abhinaya mean? It is art of expression. It can be shown by the body movements, Angika. In this, there are further divisions, Anga, Pratyanga, and Upanga. The facial expressions are brought about by the movements of Mukhaja Upangas. They are categorized by Bharatamuni in the Natya Shastra as movements of eyes, movements of cheeks, chibuka, movements of eyebrows, bhru, movements of nose, nasa, movements of the lower lip, adhara, and movements of chin. As you all know, these are the areas from which the movements would bring out different kinds of expressions. Just to show you a few of these expressions, I'll take up a few of the bhavas. Let me show you Shringara first. Shringara is the expression of love. Here you see my eyes have narrowed down, my cheeks have risen up, my lips have widened, and my eyebrows are moving up and down. One more I'll take up to show you Raudra. Raudra is anger. Here you see the eyes have widened, my nostrils are moving, my eyebrows are moving, my lips and my chin are moving too. Another one would be of karuna, grief and compassion. The eyes have narrowed down, eyebrows have lifted up, lips have fallen down, chin is moving a bit, lips are moving front and back. One more example to show you is about Adbhuta. Adbhuta is wonder. The eyes have become big. Lips have narrowed to say a word something like wow. Eyebrows have lifted up. One last one I would take up is expression bibhatsa, that is disgust. If you see, again, the eyes have narrowed here, eyebrows have gone down, cheeks are pulled back, chin has come forward, lips have widened up too. So this is the physical way of bringing an expression on your face. But to feel from within, to feel the character which you want to show, and then the expression coming on your face is most challenging for a dancer. My guru, Shri Parvati Kumar from Mumbai, used to always tell me, beta, get into the character. You have to become that character. Unless and until you feel that you are that particular person doing that role, you cannot get that expression on your face. So it is the understanding of the character which is so much important. He used to so many times tell different stories, anecdotes to get me into that particular mood, to get me into the character, to make me understand what the character is. And that is how I have learned to do the expressions. Of course, we all know that practice makes one perfect. I remember in one item, Nandanar, who is the character, he is a great Shiva Bhakta. And he goes one day into a jungle in where a small little Shiva temple is there. He always used to go and pray over there in that temple. One day he sees that one eye of Shiva, imaginary eye on the Shiva Linga, was dropping tears. So he got very upset. He said, what is the problem? Can you tell me, my lord? I cannot bear seeing you cry like this. Are you really upset? Or are you really worried about something? No. I can't see tears coming down your eyes. So he decides to pull out one of his eye with an arrow, and he fixes that eye onto the crying eye. And then he says, now are you happy? I am very happy that I came to some use to my Lord Shiva. And at that point in time, the expression which is required to be shown is that Nandanar is very happy on the one side of the face where he has given away the eye, and the other side, the other eye, other part of the face, he's not happy because it has not come to use to his Lord. So at the same time, I had to show on my face both these expressions. It was like very happy and absolutely no use. So it was this was the expression I had to bring out. And it took me really a lot many days to move my facial muscles in a manner that I can show both the expressions at the same time on the stage. So I took this up as a challenge, and I made sure that I practice so much that I cannot ever forget in my whole life how to do it. And I'm sure because of that only, just now I was able to show it to you too. As it is for all types of art forms, it is for dance too that it leads one to wellness. Nrityayoga, that's what we are looking at. Nrityayoga is what we are talking about over here today, as there are different postures in yoga called asanas. There are postures in dance. Every muscle of your body gets used when you are dancing. And that leads you towards physical wellness. Dance also helps in mental wellness, as one derives a lot of happiness while dancing. One feels contented, satisfied. Dance is sadhana, meditation. Pranam.
After those wonderful insights and beautiful descriptions of Abhinaya, Srimati Nandini Kamath will now give us a brief understanding of the different postures used in Bharatanatyam and how they can impact our wellness.
I thought I could start with introducing you to the art of Bharatanatyam. So a small introduction. Bharatanatyam is the oldest, over 2000 years old, of all the classical dances of India and is indigenous to the state of Tamil Nadu. On the gopurams of the Chidambaram temples, one can see a series of Bharatanatyam poses, frozen in stone as it were, and in many other temples, the charis and karanas of the dance are represented in sculpture. Bharatanatyam is known to be a ekaharya, where one dancer takes on many roles in a single performance. Its repertoire is extensive and a performance follows a regular pattern. It leans heavily on the abhinaya or mind aspect of dance, and nritya, where the dancer expresses through both movement and mind. In the 19th century and the early part of the 20th century, the style was kept alive by the Devadasis, who were young girls gifted by their parents to be married off to the gods. They performed music and dance as an offering to the deities in the temple courtyards. It later moved to the courts of the kings and now is performed on stage to an audience as a beautiful art form to be revered and appreciated. The piece that I will be performing now is called the Ananda Tandava Dhyanam Shloka. It is about Lord Nataraja. It's an ode to Lord Nataraja, who is the cosmic dancer. It speaks about his 4 arms, his 3 eyes, his matted locks, the Ganga emerging from them, the tiger skin around his waist, the ankles, the bells on his ankles, and several other things. Ananda Tandava Dhyanam Shloka in Ragam Purvi Kalyani. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the inspiration I derived from a talk by Srimati Mala Kapadia ji earlier in this series. So there is this concept about life unfolding in the present moment, and I'd like to believe that a pose or a posture in dance is representative of this. It reflects the beauty and the power of the present moment. So there is a deep wellness within it. One has to be completely immersed and involved in the movement, so it is in the realm of the now. It is not static, however, but rather represents a dynamic flow of life ending in stillness. The cosmos, as we know it, is made up of the 5 elements, the Pancha Mahabhutas. According to Indian philosophy, as also the ancient science of Ayurveda, our bodies are a microcosm that mimic the macrocosm that is the cosmos. Therefore, our bodies are made up of the 5 elements: Akasha or space, Vayu or air, Agni or fire, Jala or water, and Prithvi or earth. A perfect balance of these 5 elements in our bodies brings about wellness and harmony in life. So when I use my body in order to arrive at a posture, I believe that the joy that I perceive and project is because of the 5 elements that are present in the construction of that posture. Now the pose unfolds in space, Akasha, and it is established there. And we know that Akasha is infinite and expansive. Our bodies are a temple to Mother Earth, which is why in the beginning we pay obeisance to her. And we know that only when the earth element is grounded, that the other elements can flourish. So the dancer's feet or foot, as the case may be, have to be firmly grounded. The movement per se has a quality of touch. When I do this movement, I'm touching every molecule of air, I can feel it. So it is alive, there is prana within it. And this is representative of the Vayu or air element. The physical energy that I require to do the movement represents the Agni or fire element, which we know is transformative and is indicative of life moving forward. And lastly, it is the fluidity of this entire exercise, which I believe represents the Jala or water, which has a binding quality, and so binds the whole exercise, the whole movement in its entirety. Thank you.
After that wonderful and vivid description of the different postures and the explanation of the Panchamahabhutas, now Sharada will present for you a Mishra Jati Alaripu set in Rag Hamsadhwani, and she'll explain a little more about her presentation.
So dance has helped me a lot in my physical and mental health. Dance helps in strengthening my muscles. It has improved my body posture also. And it has helped me a lot with my memory also. It plays a major role as a stress buster. The item which I'm going to perform is called an Alaripu. This piece is traditionally performed in the beginning of a show. This item contains 3 parts. The first part is done in Samapada or standing position. The second part is done in Purnamandi or a full sit position. And the third part is done in Aramandi or a half sitting position. This item is done as a prayer to the gods, our gurus, elders, and the audience. Thank you so much.
After that beautiful rendition, Elizabeth will now be speaking a little about different stances assumed in Odissi, and she'll also put emphasis on the different torso movements that are used in that dance form, and she'll also talk a little bit about the distinct footwork that is used in Odissi.
Namaste. My name is Elizabeth Matthews, and I've learned Odissi dance since I was 6 years old under the guidance of my guru, Srimati Madhurita Mohapatra. Odissi is one of the 8 classical dance forms of India and comes from the state of Odisha. It can be seen, its roots are in the Udaygiri and Kandagiri caves, and it dates all the way back to the 2nd century. Odissi is known to be a very sculpturous dance, and it is depicted in many temples, such as the Konark Sun Temple and the Lord Jagannath Temple. In dance, one is made to be aware of the body. Previously, it was talked about in Abhinaya, how when to express a particular emotion, a lot of attention goes into all the facial movements involved. At the same time, one is also aware of the other body movements and how that contributes to the emotion or the step. This requires a lot of focus, and with practice, it gets easier to do. The body develops a sort of muscle memory, as well as it gets easier to put the right energy at the right place and at the right time. In Odissi, the techniques of movement are based on two stances, Chauko and Tribangi. Chauko. Chauko literally means square, and this stance represents Lord Jagannath, who is a syncretic deity. Jagannath means Lord of the universe. In this stance, the body weight is distributed equally between both the sides of the body. Then is Tribangi or Tribanga, which means three bends. As you can see in this stance, there are 1, 2, and 3 bends. This stance is commonly depicted in many Indian sculptures, as well as the Hindu deity Lord Krishna is often portrayed in this stance. So, to practice the Chauko stance, initially I was told that this much gap needs to be between both my legs. My toes need to be pointed outwards. My back needs to be straight, core tightened, and energy from the fingertips to the toes. And as I practiced it, it got easier to do. My body became comfortable with the position. Practice also gave me stamina and the ability to push myself. Let me explain this using Chauko as an example again. So, to practice a Chauko stance, we are made to sit in this position for a certain number of counts. It starts at low, like 10, and then it increases to 20, 30, 60. So initially when I did this, it was really hard. I used to get tired, my legs would feel like jelly. But I would tell myself just to hold on in that stance, hold the pose just for a few more seconds until my guru stopped counting. This way, I pushed my body to do more. And the next time when I did it, I knew I could do it mentally, so it became easier for me to do. This ability to push myself is something that dance taught me that I was able to use outside of dance as well. So once you learn the stance, we learn steps. In Chauko, there are 10 steps, and in Tribangi, there are 10 steps. The steps also include footwork, hand movements, head movements, and torso movement. Torso movement is a prominent part of Odissi dance, and like the name suggests, it's a movement of the torso. From side to side, up and down, and around. This is also practiced separately as well as part of the dance. Now let me show you one of the steps in Tribangi, which is Tribangi number 3, and it has 3 steps. It goes like this. Then there's Madhyam, which is the next beat. And then there is Dhrupad, which is the third speed. So as you can see, doing the step involves other aspects as well, like balance, shift in body weight, movement of the eyes, expression, as well as timing. So in dance, there is both thought and action. Thought of what you want to convey or portray, how you want to convey it, how to do each step, where to place the body at particular timings. So because of this, dance has given me a peace of mind and a way to release stress. Because when I dance, that's the only thing I do, both physically and mentally. This has also been a training of focus, which has helped me in other areas as well. Dance has also given me an awareness of my body, which has carried through outside of dance as well. I am more aware of how I hold myself, and this has given me better body posture. This, other than the physical benefit, it's also given me improved my self-esteem and my confidence. I truly believe that how you hold yourself at some level reflects what you feel about yourself. And body language is also very important in how others perceive you. Now, let me give you a little taste of this dance, Odissi, that has taught me so much. I'll be performing a part of this piece called Vattu, which is a pure nritya piece or a pure dance item. And this item incorporates a lot of steps of Tribahi and Chok.
After that wonderful rendition by Elizabeth, I will now try to continue. She spoke about poise and stance and footwork in Odissi, and now I'll speak about one aspect which I feel connects all of the different aspects that everyone before me has spoken about, and that is breath or prana. I will be demonstrating to you in the Kathak style. And just to give you a small brief introduction about Kathak, the origin of Kathak is traditionally attributed to traveling bards in ancient northern India, and they were also known as Kathakars or storytellers. And as you can see, the term Kathak has its origin in the word katha, which means story. And these kathakas were originally dramatic storytellers much before dance and music were introduced into Kathak. And Kathak dancers tell these various stories through movements of the hand, through facial expressions, through body movements, and a lot of footwork. Kathak evolved a lot during the Bhakti movement, and this was by incorporating many stories, childhood stories of the Hindu god Krishna, as well as it evolved as well in courts of northern Indian kingdoms, and that's where a lot of the stylization actually came into the dance form. To give you a little taste or a glimpse of pure Kathak dance or Nritya, I will be performing an excerpt of a piece from the track Kathak by Srimati Bhageshri Vaze, who is a renowned Kathak dancer. And in this rendition, I'll try to emphasize how breath can be used in many different ways. From the beginning, which is the That or a slow stylized movement, which incorporates deep, heavy breathing and body movements, right to the end, where I'll perform a Ladi, which is an intensive footwork piece, and the Ladi that I perform will be in Drutlay, which is a very fast speed. And you'll notice how I have to constantly keep breathing while doing this footwork if I want to actually be able to stay in rhythm and stay in lay. And after I show you this rendition, I'll just explain a little bit more about how breath can be incorporated. The choreography of this excerpt is by my guru Srimati Vibha Ramaswamy.
Hey, da 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 sa da da hey da hey da da da.
So, as you may have noticed, I used my breath in many different ways throughout that performance. One was a deep, long breath which I used while doing the That. And as you may have seen, it involved breathing and moving. And this is called the jhoom, where you move in a circle. But it's not just simply moving your body, because it always involves the breath. And I first inhale and then exhale when I come back around. And so this is one way of using the breath. But then when I'm doing the footwork or when I was doing chakkars, the way I use the breath is short and rapid breaths, or the other way to do it. And this is one common way that we dance when doing the sum, or the final pose that you kind of attain at the end of any short piece. So when you do the sum, you need to hold your breath so that it gives you some sort of elevation. So if I were to simply put my hand like this, let me just move back. So if I were to just simply keep my hand here, it doesn't give any sense of elevation. And the dance form is supposed to feel to the audience as well as to the performer that you're almost floating in air and your feet are not on the ground. So the way to achieve this would then be to hold your breath when you're striking this pose. So And you see that when I held my breath, instantly my shoulders go back, my chest expands a little bit, and my focus is at one point, and this holding of the breath helps me achieve that focus and poise. And similarly, like this, there are many, many different ways that breath is incorporated, not just in Kathak, but in all different styles of dance to really tie together everything. And I would say that you need to have focus on all of the different aspects of your dance, on your body, on your face, your hands, your footwork. All of these need to really be in conjunction with each other. And in order to do that, the one thread which I feel ties everything together is the breath. And not only does this occur in dance, but the same thing applies to yoga as well. And you require the same dhyana which you would require in yoga. You require the same dhyana in dance as well in order to be able to perfect your dance and elevate it to the higher level. And so now to just kind of give you a little more about how breath is incorporated in dance. One thing that my guru shares with me is that all of the traditional gurus never really focused on teaching breath, but in all of their dance renditions, it's very apparent that they use every single ounce of their breath to bring about not only body movements, but also feelings. Because if you take a deep breath and inhale, you can bring out a feeling of peace, for instance. That brings about a feeling of peace. But if you take rapid breaths, you can bring about anger. So you can bring about different feelings by using this breath to your advantage. And that's another way that breath has helped me improve my dance. But now to focus and speak a little bit more about wellness. I think everybody before me has already touched upon how dance improves wellness. But I'd like to speak about breath in particular. And in Kathak specifically, when we perform pure dance pieces or nritya, we usually say the bowl of what we are performing, what is called padhant. So we keep the lay or the beat on our hands and we perform the piece after we say the padhant. Now to actually perform the dance as well as say the padhant continuously one after another in a long pure dance piece, it requires immense breath control and lung capacity. And this is one thing that I believe I have gained from practicing Kathak over the years, is to be able to develop this lung capacity and to be able to seem like I'm not at all shaken by my dance, even however intense it may be. The dance is one thing, and then as soon as you go to the mic to say the padhant, you immediately have to have your poise, you have to be calm, you can't be huffing and puffing and breathing. So that's why throughout the entire dance, it's important to breathe regularly and consistently so that you're able to maintain this. And I think this is one huge thing that dance has given me. And of course, everything else that was mentioned, Elizabeth spoke about how it gave her focus. And like I said, it's sort of like an escape from everything that's around you, because you need to focus on so many different aspects at the same time and to focus on synchronizing all of these seamlessly. So your awareness really can't be anywhere else. Your awareness has to be in your hands, in your body, in your face, in your muscles, in your feet. And this way, awareness can also be linked to yoga, where you will have to be aware of every single thing that you're doing in your yogic asanas. And so this is just a little bit about how breath has contributed to my wellness as well as improved my dancing. Thank you.
Yeah, to sum up, what is dance? Dance, I would say, may I? It's a purposefully selected sequence of human movements which are unique particular style or region. Can you hear?
Louder.
So these movements have both aesthetic and symbolic value. But most of all, I feel they have an intrinsic therapeutic value. We know that dance as a therapy has come very recently into dance literature, and it probably uses the mind-body connect to operate. All Indian classical dance forms have a rich repertoire of expressions, of movements, of postures, of mudras. And mudras, we know, are hand gestures, or mudra actually means a seal, which is common both to yoga and dance. In dance, the mudras are used to communicate outwards, whereas in yoga, I would think it's for communicating within. In fact, there are many mudras which I think are common to both dance as well as yoga. Chin mudra would be one, which is Hamsasya for us. Chinmaya mudra is Kapita. Adi mudra is Mushti. And there are several others. Coming back to movement, when I just do this one particular movement, and I'm reminded of those lines by the poet Saint Kabir, which were actually sung yesterday by the Sunaad team. Hum sab mani, sakal hum mani. I am in everything, and everything is within me. So, according to the ancient the treatise on performing arts, the Bharathanatyam's Natya Shastra, performing arts, be it dance or music or theatre, the main purpose is to feel the divinity within you, keeping aside all the physicality of it, and to ignite the same in the observer or the audience. So it is a pathway to self-realization, I would say. And what more wellness would you want beyond that? To end, Srimati Parul Sastri will do a small shloka from the Abhinaya text, Abhinaya Darpana, which says this: where your hands go, your eyes follow. Where your eyes go, your mind follows. Where your mind goes, the expressions emerge. And when the expressions emerge, the rasa or the emotion is created. Srimati Parul Sastri.
Thank you all very much to the entire team. It was a mesmerizing performance. It was in fact like a master class in Nrityayoga. I'm sure many of our audience, or many in the audience, have watched these dances before, but this fabulous connection that you were able to make with how it is connected to the whole yogic practice by the control of breath, by what you showed, for example, the alignment of oneself through where the hand goes, the look follows, the thought goes, everything has to be aligned. And yoga, coming from the root yuj, is all about alignment. But what you've all fantastically demonstrated is how that alignment happens in movement all the time. So thank you for this very scintillating performance and session for us. It will be a very valuable document for any yoga practitioner who wants to understand how the beautiful dance forms of the different classical styles have embedded in them the very core practices of the yogic tradition. Thank you very much. I was just wondering, because in terms of time also, would you like to just take up, because we had promised our audience that you would give them a first-hand taste of also doing certain expressions and also maybe a movement if possible. But could you please let our audience join you in some movement and an expression?
Yeah, before we go to that, I would also like to thank Nishant and Nandini for giving their beautiful voice for rendition of shlokas.
So now we will try to give you a little more glimpse into the world of Indian classical dance, and we urge you to kind of try to follow along with us. First, Sharada will be demonstrating a few things in Bharatanatyam for you, and we just want you to try to, wherever you are right now, try to follow along. And we're not teaching you, we're not at all saying that. It's just a small little glimpse, just for your own happiness and to try out how it feels to dance an Indian classical dance form if you've never done that before. And it doesn't matter if, whether it's correct or wrong, or it doesn't really matter. This is just for you to kind of get a taste of it. So do please try out along with us. First, Sharada will demonstrate a little bit.
Yeah, so I will be performing. You hear me?
Yes.
I will be performing a few steps in Bharatanatyam. So for that, I would like you to get up and sit in a posture called Aramandi, where your feet are parallel or in a straight line. Your knees face towards each of the sides, and you bend your knees. And this posture is called Aramandi. Your hands are in a hasta called Kathak, which is like this. And as you, when you start, your right foot stretches in front, which your toes point upwards, and along with your foot, your hand opens out into a hasta called Alakatma. So it opens out, and as you're in that position, you're supposed to hit your left leg, and then when you bring back your hand along with your leg, you hit your right leg, and then the left leg again. So it goes right, and left. The same way it goes to the left side, which is left, right, left, and right. So this is the first, what we call adavu, or a step. And the second step will be a simple leg movement. This time when you stretch your leg, it goes towards the side with your toes up and your hands in a hasta called Tripataka. Your right hand stretches forward, and as you're in that position, you hit your left leg, and as you hit your left leg, you bring back the hand to its original position, and as you bring back your right leg and hit it, it goes back. It goes back, and you're supposed to turn your torso so you can see the hand behind you. The same goes with the left side. So it goes out, bring back your hand, hit your right leg this time, and as you hit your left leg, hand goes back. So it goes somewhat like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Elizabeth, can you start?
You're on mute.
I'll demonstrate chakra number 3, which has 3 steps. So the steps, so you have to sit in chakra. So the knees are pointing, toes are pointing outwards, knees are bent. Okay, first I'll show you the feet movement. There are 3 steps. The first step is the right leg is in the heel. Then the left leg is stamped, and then the right leg gets stamped again. And then this is done on the left side as well, where there's heel, stamp, stamp. So while this is done, the hands are in Pataka, this mudra, energy in all the fingertips, and they're kept near the navel. And as the step is done, the hand goes up. And then when the left side is done, the hand comes down. And then the next time the step is done, the other hand goes up. And when the left side is done, the hand comes down. So with the step and the hand together, it's 1, 2, 3. Then the left side, 1, 2, 3. And once more, 1, 2, 3. Then the left side, 1, 2, 3. Then, now I will tell you about the torso movement in this step. How this is done is, so as the step is done, 1, 2, 3. So on the side where you stamp the leg, so in this case the right side, that side, the same side, the torso moves. So the torso moves inward to that side. So 1, 2, 3, and the torso movement. And then the left side, 1, 2, 3, and the left torso movement. So now I will show you everything together. So the step and the hands. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then the torso movement. And 1, 2, 3, and the torso movement. And the other side, 1, 2, 3, torso movement, 1, 2, torso. Now with the torso movement also, the eye movement goes in the opposite side. So if this side is pushed and the torso is moving this way, the eyes look on this side. So now all together, 1, 2, 3, torso and eyes. 1, 2, 3, torso and eyes. 1, 2, 3, torso and eyes. 1, 2, 3, torso and eyes.
After that, I'm sure it's a bit complicated, so I'll try to show you something slightly easier. This is the first, or I guess you would say the foundation of all of Kathak and pure dance in Kathak lies in this. It's called Tatkar. So there are two aspects to it. So first you have to hold your hand in a position which is called Naman. So you take your left hand first, and I mean all your fingers are open. So you take your left hand and then put your right palm over here across it, and then secure your thumb. Okay, and so now this is how the hand is. Now I'll show you the foot. So you'll have to stand straight, and your elbows are slightly angled over here, not very down, and it's about this much distance from your chest. All right. So now I'll show you the footwork. So hold your hand like this. I'll show you the footwork now. And I'm holding my hand like that the entire time. All right. So standing straight, your feet are in a V shape, and the back of your sole has to be, has to be touching both your feet. And then what you do is, this is the tatkar. So the bowl is ta the tat, a the tat, which you hit with your feet. So each bowl you hit with your feet. So first you start with your right foot flat, ta, the, tat. So right flat, left flat, right flat, left flat, and then now you start from the left flat. So a, the, tat. And I'm not lifting my knees very high while doing this. No, I'm not lifting my entire leg or anything like that. It's just a small lift, and tatkar, which is right flat, left flat, right flat, left flat, then left, right, left, right. So if I were to do it slightly faster, it would be like this in continuation. Ta, the, tat, a, the, tat, ta, the, tat, a, the, tat. And if I were to do it faster, it could be ta, the, tat, a, the, tat, ta, the, tat, a, the, tat, ta, the, tat, a, the, tat, ta, the, tat, a, the, tat. And you don't need to try this, but if I were to do it even faster, it would be ta se se tat a se se ta se se tat a se se ta se se tat a se se ta se se tat. Yeah, that's just a small demonstration for you. That's it. Yeah. We'd like to thank Indica Yoga and Anuradha Aunty immensely for giving us this opportunity. I mean, not just is it a learning opportunity for all the viewers, but I think it's important to say that equally for us, we don't often think about comparing these things and really going into, I mean, we always just do our own practice in our individual styles. But coming together, different styles, and then seeing how the relation to yoga and trying to think about these things really gives us a very good learning experience as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think like in the Vedas, they talk of the fact, the deep philosophy, which is, ekam sad vipra bahudha vadanti. There is one truth which has multiple forms. So in this course of an hour and a half, you have beautifully demonstrated how the bhava can be same, the certain movements, certain positions can be same, but then the expressions the internal posture is the same, but the expressions can be so diverse and graceful. So thank you very much. And I think our audience really enjoyed the little taste that you gave them of this nectar of your dance. Yesterday we had a great opportunity to taste the sounds of Dhrupad singing. And today you gave us a taste of how sound manifests itself in the movements of the body. So thank you very much, because ultimately we are all vibrations, and that vibrations can find an expression in either an auditory sound or in a movement in the body. And I just wanted to also tell our viewers that we have Shiva, who's the founder, who's the source of Yoga Shastra. But Shiva is also the source and the founder of the dance, of the whole Nritya movement. So our salutations to Shiva for having graced us, or for having engaged us in this creative process of making wonderful movements, etc. So I would like to just ask a few questions. I mean, there are not too many questions, but connecting this thing to movement and wellness, Nritya, yoga and wellness, I just wanted to hear from you, what has been your experience in terms of developing you as a person? We heard from Sharda, we heard from Nishant, as well as from Elizabeth, about how dance had formed their personality. But I'd like to also hear from you. You've been mothers. How has this practice ensured that you have a good posture, good state of mind, etc.? So if you could kindly share some light on that, Nandini ji and Parul ji, please.
What can I say? It's been a fantastic journey. It's been a fun journey for me. You know, coming out of that esoteric and philosophical space, it's been really fun. And you know, Guru Shishya, we are not too far apart in age, so it's been a wonderful journey learning dance with Parul. And I took it up after I turned 40, with a gap of 27 years. Yeah. So, well, how it has impacted, I don't know, probably focus, like everybody else said, since one has to give it your entire being in order to do it well. Yeah. So it's the process that is enjoyable, perhaps not the end result. Because age is fast catching up with me. So I enjoy it so much so that dance class, if I may say that, is in the basement. And when I finish and walk into the lift, I forget to, tap the button to go up to where I have to get off to get out of the building. I'm just waiting, thinking about what I had done, and expecting the lift to go up on its own. I'm so much in that space that then suddenly it occurs to me, oh, okay, I do have to press the button to go up. So it's been wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been an excellent journey. Last so many years, almost more than 55 years that I've been learning. I started when I was just a small girl. And it's never been a day where I have not practiced. So it's been an excellent experience to learn also from a big guru like Guru Parvati Kumar. Amazing teacher, very strict teacher. And it's been totally involvement in dance throughout all these years. So I would say it has made me come out as a very different person. If I wouldn't have done it, I don't know what it would have been. But to think in different manners, to think how important the inner self is also, and that would bring out the best expressions. That's what my understanding is. So it's been just too good.
I also wanted to mention that in the Yoga Sutras, they talk of, any practice that one has to do in the Yoga Sadhana. They say that Abhyasa and Vairagya are two very important things. And abhyasa is defined as satu dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevita dridha bhumi, which means you have to do it. You have to do it for a long time. You have to do it continuously, and you have to do it with a lot of goodwill. So I would like to hear from all of you, and especially from the younger team of extremely promising artists. It was very humbling for me to also watch them, because you just realize that, the age doesn't matter. It is one sadhana in that gives one the possibility of acquiring a certain caliber in that particular art field, art. So I'd just like to request you to share your, to throw some light on this kind of a definition of abhyasa as being dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevita. So how have you been able to sustain that in the midst of your different activities of life? And especially, like I said, for the youngsters, there are so many distractions today. How are you able to hold your practice? What is your motivation to continue with it? So maybe we'll start with Sharda, the youngest one. Tell us. So unmute and tell us, please. All of you can unmute, because then we'll be on the screen together. So all of you, please unmute. Yes. So Sharda.
Yeah. I don't know. First of all, my teacher is very strict. So she will make sure you practice. If you don't practice, then like scold you. And so as a child, I've gotten that fear that I'll be scolded if I don't practice. So as like that, I have made a certain time for practicing dance. So I think that is how I've got the habit of practicing. And it's all thanks to my teacher, I think.
Great. An external force. So sometimes, like even in the yoga abhyasa, we really need a strict guru. And that acts as this bar to help us reach up to a certain standard. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Who would like to go next? Elizabeth, would you like to share?
Yeah. So like Sharda, even I would say that my guru, Madhurita Mohapatra, has been very inspiring. And she's really dedicated, and she puts in a lot of effort and like all her soul into dance. And she says, a day without dance is like night. And like just her inspiration and just her energy also like is something that I draw from. Like even now in times of COVID, like she has online classes and she makes sure like all her students are there. So like I really draw upon from her energy when I feel like a little disheartened. But now in like at home, the time to practice, it gives me something to do. So that also helps.
Very nice. Yes. Again, the role of the teacher, you've highlighted the role of the teacher very well. Thank you. Nishant?
I think it's the same thing, and I mean exactly what Lizzie said. So even my guru, Srimati Vibha Ramaswamy, her dedication and passion to the art form is just immense, And though I'm not the best, I'm not the most ideal learner or student, because I don't consistently practice my dance as much as I should. But I think, like you said, one important thing which you mentioned, which I've heard many gurus and people speak about as well, is that when they used to learn dance or music or whatever art form it may be, there were no distractions, and they used to have, they used to practice a lot. They used to have classes multiple times a week. A lot of dedication went into it, a lot of effort went into it. And nowadays, because of various reasons, that is just not, possible anymore. So I think it's an interesting question to ask, is how do we maintain that same level and dedication and uphold that art form, knowing that very well that we can't really put in the same amount of effort, or I mean, unless you of course give up everything and just go straight to that art form and you're very dedicated. But for someone like me who likes to dabble in so many things, it would be really difficult to do that. So that's a question that I've had kind of, at least for the past 4 or 5 years, increasingly it keeps coming to me, how do I maintain this? How do I uphold this tradition? And I think definitely one thing is that the guru plays a major role in providing inspiration and guidance as well as blessings. So, yeah.
Thank you. Nandini ji and Parul, would you like to add just your experience in the midst of your housework and so many other commitments, the school that you run?
Absolutely. So there has to be a particular fixed slot for practice. There is no other way out. I'm speaking as I teach also, so from the teacher's point of view also, same. There is and continuous practice only is going to help any student come up and maintain the quality of dance. So though there are so many things in everybody's life, there are so many other aspects they have to look after in the house, outside, their work. But if it is your real passion, then somewhere or the other, you are the one who has to make time to see to it that the passion is taken forward.
I think this advice of yours works very well also with those who are into the regular yoga practice of Hatha Yoga, etc. That unless that passion, one discovers that passion within oneself, it's very hard to stay with the practice.
Absolutely.
But thank you for that important advice, yes. Nandini, would you like to share your experience?
Well, I must admit that I don't practice every day. That is also because it takes a toll after a certain age. It takes a toll on your body. And I have to first, every time I have performed on stage, I've had to make sure that my body is first ready for it. So, at an older age, and perhaps because of the gap that I had given, I restarted after a gap of 27 years. And I did my Arangetram when I was 49. So, yeah, so it's tough. It's tough, especially when you have, I have my parents, I have my mother-in-law, they're all aged. I have a lot of responsibilities. So, yeah, I don't practice every day, but I do try and do it maybe once or twice a week.
I think what you have brought out very importantly is the importance of listening to your body also. So the things that you could do at a younger age are not necessarily the same things that you can do at an older age, but sticking with the practice as and when possible and doing it joyfully, I guess, is what will give an individual, the artist, the yoga practitioner, its full benefits. So beautifully said, Nandini. I would like to, there are lovely questions. We just have 3 questions because I think you've answered a lot already in your practice. So there were 3 lovely questions. I'll just go through them and you can answer whichever one you feel like. I'll come do a round with each of you a last time on that. So there is Sunil Kumarji who's saying, where do you think the soul of dance resides? In the breath, the stance, the motivation, or the divine inspiration? That's one question. The other one is, by Radha Raoji, who says that do your personal ups and downs of emotions affect your performances? And how do you deal with them? And then we have Tarakini ji who's asking you, has any one of the panelists tried contemporary or Western dance? And what did that feel like? So I'll open up these 3 questions and I request each of you to answer whichever one you felt resonated with you.
The second question, can you repeat that? Second question.
About personal ups and downs, the emotions. How do you deal with those emotions?
So I would like to inform that once you are an artist, when you come into the frame of that particular time period where you are supposed to perform, nothing else but your dance, but your particular item, the character, what I was talking about, that is only thing in front of you, in your body, in your heart, in your mind. So that is one thing for sure that every artist needs to master. And that again, back to the same thing, without practice, it doesn't come. But that switch on and switch off of the surroundings, of the mental thoughts has to be done by an artist.
So that's where the vairagya comes into the picture. It's not just abhyasa, but vairagya.
All interconnected.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
Can I answer the third question?
Yes, please.
I did try my hand at contemporary dance. It was very enjoyable, but I felt that Bharatanatyam is my calling.
How did you decide that? Like, what in you connected to the Bharatanatyam versus the other dance? Can you identify that?
Exposure as a child as well. I started when I was 7 and I gave it up when I was 13, thinking that academics were far more important than dance, but they didn't lead me anywhere, and I took this up and I get immense joy out of it. So, yeah.
Your joy was very infectious. We had a comment earlier on that said that when you did your Ananda, we were also carried away by that Ananda. And you so wonderfully made that connection between the that Ayurveda psychology session you heard and translated that in your movement.
Yeah, that's hard to say that. No? I really loved that session.
Yes.
Shrimati Kapadia ji. So, yeah, I think Bharatanatyam is my calling. For as long as I can, I would like to pursue that.
Wonderful, and we hope that will be there for a very, very long time.
Very loving a guru, and we share a wonderful rapport. And so I call her Parul, by the way.
Thank you. Nishant, can we hear from you? Which of the questions would you like to answer?
Okay, the first one is an interesting question. The soul of dance. I think it's hard to pinpoint. So like you said, I think earlier, there are different forms, but there's only one truth. So I mean, maybe I don't know if it's a good metaphor to use in this case, but what I feel is there are different aspects which really bring together the aspects that this person has mentioned: breath, stance, divine inspiration. All of these things, you can't have one thing and not have the other. So it's one thing in its whole. It's not a sum of its parts. It's its own totality. It's its own total thing. So I don't know. I'm not answering this properly, but I don't know if you get what I mean. But you can't really separate out chunks and say that this is this thing, this is one part, this is the second part. At least I don't feel that. I feel like everything is connected, and you need to have all of them equally to really be able to enhance and elevate your dance.
Yes, I think you were also referring to the fact of aligning the macrocosm with the microcosm. When you become one with that, you align with all of the aspects, then you can bring out the best of yourselves. So you spoke to us about breath, and we all recognize that your performance was breathtaking as well. So thank you, Nishant, for sharing that, your joy of dance amidst many other interests that you have. Thank you. I'll come to Elizabeth to hear your thoughts.
So about what Nishant said, about the soul of dance, I agree with him, and I would like to add to this to say like the soul of dance is like in everything, like he mentioned, and everything is interconnected. So as a dancer, like you bring in the soul from yourself, and you also find it in things around you and everything around you, in every aspect of different kinds of things. You find the soul of dance, and I think personally for me, like I think that's one of the reasons why dance also brings me joy, because I'm able to connect it to so many different things. And like in itself, dance gives me joy. Doing it gives me joy. And the ability to connect it to other things like gives me this sense of like satisfaction as well. In terms of other dances, I've learned, I mean, not properly learned, but like from YouTube videos and some workshops, I've learned like some forms of like contemporary dance and like some Western dances, like hip hop and things like that. And it's very different from a classical dance, as like I believe that classical dances require more precision, and but also like doing classical dance has helped me do these dances in like terms of like flexibility and like understanding how the body moves, and like I talked about awareness before. The same awareness I can use in these kind of dances as well, and understand how the body should look so that the dance looks nice and things like that.
Yeah, a very beautiful answer again, because when we talk to our yoga students, we also tell them that the flexibility that they experience on the mat is not to be limited to the mat, but has to overflow into life itself. So your answer also brought out how it has impacted your life in so many positive ways, and also brought in a lot of freedom in your body, because the grace with which you were able to move the head on one side and the torso on the other, and the body in the third position. I think Taradi was saying that it's the first time I think that she's trying to do this, and you discover that your torso is a whole independent entity by itself, connected by the spine. So brilliant, thank you. Sharda, over to you now. So
The third question about contemporary. As being at school, I have taken part in a lot of shows or performances in contemporary dance, and it's I feel it's the exact opposite of what I do classically, like in Bharatanatyam. In Bharatanatyam, there's a lot of stiffness, and you need to hold your posture for a long time. Contemporary is very free, and it took me a long time to bring the freeness in my body because from the whole, I mean, how many ever years I've learned dance, I was trained to keep my body stiff and not like move a lot. So to get back to the first original thing took a lot of time.
all right. All right, but the precision in your movements was a reflection of the discipline that you have been able to bring into your body to do that. And it's very interesting with Bharatanatyam, and just a small note here, they say that with Bharatanatyam, the mathematics of it, like you have to do the same thing in different angles, different speeds, you repeat it. And the fact that you do it on both sides is, I was told once, the way in which both brain parts are activated. We underestimate the value that this has directly on the two parts of our brain. But this session has been a very memorable one for all our participants who have been there and stayed with us. We've stretched well beyond the time, but we have a very serious audience that has been listening keenly and taking tips from your sharings. We've got friends from Spain, Switzerland, they're from all over. And I'm sure that they will remember these lovely moments in gorgeous costumes. Thank you for putting in that effort for this program. I would just like to request you all to please give your contact details. If somebody wants to know more about what you're doing, how can they reach you? So I'll go on to announce the program for the evening. I'll come back to you and just take a last message that you have based on what you do and the role that dance plays in your life. and the message for your friends in that circle. So thank you. Srinivasji, may I request you to please put up the poster for the... So we've had various kinds of presenters in this festival so far. We've had scientists, researchers, yoga practitioners, instructors. This evening, we have the rare privilege of having in our midst a very interesting combination of a researcher of astrophysics from the Laboratory of Astrophysics in Marseille, and also he's a trustee of Khechri Devi Ashram in Provence in France. He's Yogi Maheshwara, a scientist of the outer world and the outer space, turned scientist of the inner world and the inner space. So he was called upon by the divine goddess to discover his inner world through the Khechri Mudra, which he's going to talk about. And he has, the title he has given us is Khechri Mudra, when the divine goddess takes off in inner space. So do attend this session, because you're going to be hearing from somebody who's really delved deep into the spaces outside and the spaces inside, and share some of the secrets that he has discovered in the process. So I'd like to come back to you. Another note on the session, it's a 1.5 hour session. So please be ready for that in terms of the time that you have for our festival. So if you could kindly put up your details there. Thank you very much. So if you have any questions that might have come up in the course of this program, if you are interested to discover these classical forms for yourself, do reach out to these wonderful artists and see how you can benefit from their sadhana in Nrityayoga and enhance your wellness thereby. And a last message from you for our audience, please.
I would just like to say one sentence. Be happy in whatever you are doing, and that will be the greatest joy and achievement of your life.
Thank you. Sharada, you next. What would you like to tell your friends? From what you do, the dance that you do, what is your message for the friends?
Can I go next?
Yes.
Sharda seems to need some time.
Yes, please.
So I'd like to say from my experience that age should not be a deterrent. And you can take it up at any age, as best as you can. And explore it and see how much joy it gives you. It could be any form of dance. It could be contemporary, it could be classical. But we will see what a difference it makes to your life.
Thank you. Elizabeth?
Hello.
Yes, tell us.
I would just like to say that, first of all, thank you to everyone who watched and to all of you. And that just explore like this event has given everyone an opportunity to explore different kinds of things related to dance and related to wellness. Just explore like as many opportunities that are there. Just explore them and get to know it, and then maybe you find something that you like and that it brings passion and that you enjoy this way I do enjoy dance.
Beautiful. Thank you. Sharda?
Whatever you like, keep practicing, and practice makes a man perfect. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you. And Nishant? The sutra of the whole thing. So what is the sutra that you would like to pass on to the world?
I just want to continue from what both Nandini auntie and Elizabeth said. I think to find any art form or something that you'd like to take up and just try your hand at, you might not realize it when you begin, but if you follow through and you do sadhana or just try your hand at it, and if you give it some time, you'll realize how much joy it can bring you, how much wellness and peace it can give you, and really uh, kind of penetrate different aspects of your life and make them very enjoyable. So I urge you to just go out and try something new and see where it takes you. And yeah, that's all I'd like to say.
So big thank you from
Be passionate about whatever you do, you'll be passionate about it.
a heartfelt gratitude from Indica Yoga to all of you. And we look forward to you staying with the program and joining our other sessions as well. So a big thank you to the audience for having stayed with us so far. All the recordings are available on indicayoga.com, Indica Yoga YouTube channel, as well as on the Indica Yoga Facebook page. So do catch up with the ones that you've missed. We had one by C. Ramaji on Rasa Yoga and the play of emotions, understanding emotions through that. So please look at them and stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Indica Yoga. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Anu.
Thank you, Anu.